So Toyota right now has lost a lot of customers and me included. So here's the thing. My wife and I were dead set on buying a Toyota, buying a Sienna. That's what we were going to get. But they just don't have them on the ground right now. So it got us doing our research to see, okay, well, there are other vehicles that we would might entertain, and they are on the ground, and we can go and actually check them out. So because of this, we started doing our research. And the Sienna that we wanted, we found that there were actually a lot of negative things about this van coming out that we didn't even think about. Here's the thing. We made a miscalculation. We made a misstep. We did one of the things that I talk so much about on this channel is do your research. And me, I'm the biggest Toyota fanboy out there. I'm a used car dealer, and I've bought Toyotas for my car dealership forever, and I always buy these cars. I know that they last 200, 250, 300,000 miles, and I'm not scared of them at all. But these are older cars. See, the niche that I'm in, we sell cars that are $5,000 and under. So what I'm buying is I'm buying 2002, 2000 to 2006 Toyota Camrys. They got 175,000 plus miles. I'm buying the older Siennas. I'm buying Corollas. I'm buying all of these things that Toyota has made a long time ago that were bulletproof. They did the right things with them. So, as me, what am I going to buy? If I'm buying my wife a new car, what are we going to buy? We're going to buy Toyota. That's all we're going to buy. And I was stuck in that mindset. And I'm almost thankful that Toyota has really dropped the ball on production. The Sienna that we wanted, we had to put our name on a list, and then when it comes in, you have to basically buy it the second that it comes in. And we've saw some on the ground, and by the time we were trying to go there to the dealership to drive one, I wasn't going to buy one without driving it first, but we were going to drive it. It's already gone. So I'm very thankful for that, because what that made us do is it made me do something that I tell everyone to do is do your research. Make sure you look at all the options for what you're going to buy. And I really think Toyota has really taken a couple steps back in the last year, 2 years. And one of the big things that I keep seeing on YouTube and see a lot of other automotive channels cover is things like quality issues with, you hear it all the time about the Tundras. They've been making trucks over the last couple years now where there can be defects with the motors already, and they're doing recalls on a lot of these trucks. We're finding that there are a lot of people that have bought Tundras in the last couple of years, and they're now dumping them back into the used car space because they don't want them. They don't like the trucks. We know that we've had this big motor change in a lot of the Tundras where they're going to the turbos. They're not running the big V8s anymore, and this is something that a lot of the consumers, they don't really want. And as a result of that, Toyota is losing a lot of customers, specifically in the truck space. So a lot of these people that want the big V8s, these trucks, and they're hearing a lot of these problems that are coming out of these newer motors, they're choosing not to buy Tundras. And as a result, we're seeing a lot of them sit on dealer lots. I know that we talk a lot about Toyota, and they're actually selling vehicles, and they're selling them very well. But there's a side point to that. It's not all of their vehicles that they're moving, and they're moving them well. Their Tacomas right now and their Tundras are actually sitting quite a bit. You can go to Toyota dealerships across the nation right now, and you can go in. You see that they're busy. They're selling Camrys, they're selling Corollas, they're selling Rav4s, they're selling the Prius, they're selling the Siennas, but most often you're going to see that they have tons of Tacomas and tons of Tundras sitting on their lot. And it's really one of the only the only two vehicles from Toyota right now that you can get like uh, quite a bit under MSRP. You can go, they're very negotiable. They're sitting on their lots. That's because people just aren't buying them right now. And you can just see it really across the board. If you're paying attention to the car market right now, we know that Stellantis is not selling. We know that the F-150s right now, they're having a hard time moving those. GM's having its own problems itself, but you don't really hear, okay, Toyota can't sell things, right? You're not hearing that Honda is having a hard time, or even really Subaru's having a hard time. But just separate from that, we are seeing that Toyota is having a hard time moving their trucks, and it's really that the brand as a whole, I feel like has taken a step back because you're getting the quality issues from the trucks. And then two, you're getting this suppressed production that came from we're seeing Siennas. We had that for a long time, the last couple of years, even on RAV4s. RAV4s are a very common vehicle. They sell a ton of them, but they weren't able to get enough RAV4s to their dealership bodies. And this was causing the prices to stay elevated. This was causing their dealerships to be able to add add-ons, add market adjustments. And if you wanted a RAV4, if you wanted a Sienna, even in a lot of dealerships now, if you want a Sienna, you've got to pay these add-ons. You've got to pay these market adjustments, because you know what? If you're not going to pay it, somebody else who wants a RAV4, the only way they can get it is buying this one that's sitting right here on our lot right now. We've got 3 of them sitting on the ground. They all got market adjustments. And if you want to buy one, this is what you got to do. And this has hurt the Toyota brand, not only on the quality side, the lack of production, but now their dealerships have really hurt their brand. But I want to get back to myself, and why we chose not to buy the Sienna that I was dead set on, because I'm Toyota truther. That's what I'm going to buy, and that's it. But we went a different way. And so this Sienna that we started to research, one of the big things that I was going to live with, and I thought this was definitely going to be one of the things that I didn't particularly like all that much, but I was okay with, because I just think that's the way we're going, is that it's a hybrid. So I'll tell you why I'm not a big fan. So I'm someone who wants to be in something that I know. I know the gas system. I know there's going to be less the adding in the hybrid system. There's going to be just something else that could give me complication down the road, on top of the motor that's already there. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to necessarily get into a hybrid, but I thought we were just going to have to do that because Toyota's going to hybrid. So we're just doing that. But the more that we researched, since it wasn't on the ground and we wanted to open up our other options, we found that there were other vehicles that we would like that were not hybrid. And once we started looking, okay, what's going to be the pros and cons of buying this hybrid in the Sienna versus buying a non-hybrid in another brand. And we found that there was quite a few negative reviews about the hybrid and the actual power that the motor's putting out. So this hybrid's going to be a smaller motor than what they would traditionally have in the Sienna. They used to have the 6 cylinders, and now they're not doing that. They're having these 4 cylinders with the hybrid motor, and they're weak, to say the least. We a couple of reviews that my wife read said that, okay, the get up on these Siennas, when I say get up, like the torque, the power that's coming to it, was almost not enough to even get up to speed on a short exit ramp, getting onto like the interstate. And this was something that actually really worried my wife, because if we need to have some power to get up and go in a hurry, especially if you're merging onto the interstate on a short exit ramp, then this is one of the complications that comes with the hybrid. This comes with getting all that extra gas mileage, is you're taking away some power from the actual motor. So this was a problem for us, and this is something that we weren't even going to research. We were just going to buy a Toyota. So I know I keep going back to the research side of it, but this is really something that I think that we messed up on, and we should have been better about looking into what we were going to buy. But anyway, so that was one of the reasons why I really wanted to go away from the Toyota. And I mean, the biggest thing is there's almost no negotiability on the Siennas because they don't have them. So Even saying that though, we were able to go in and talk to a Toyota rep. This is a whole story to itself. It was a nightmare. It took us, we got into the dealership. I just wanted numbers. It took us 45 minutes just to get an initial number. And that's us sitting in the Toyota dealership. This process has to be changed. The dealership model is absolutely horrible. And us having to wait that long, literally just to get a number, it was absolutely ridiculous. And then there was some negotiation that went back and forth because I mean, I wanted to see if what we could get off of the Sienna, and it wasn't much. Now, I will say we were able to get a little bit under MSRP, which is a great deal for a Sienna right now. Not say it's not cheap, right? The MSRPs on all of these vehicles have been jacked up so high that under MSRP just by a little bit is still not a good deal. But compared to the market, it is great because it's very difficult to not for you not to have to pay a markup or an add-on on any of these Siennas because they're just not hitting the ground. And so we did that, and it took us just forever to even get to that point. We finally left, and we just been waiting on the dealership to actually get one on the ground so we can test drive it. And it took probably 2 weeks, and then we got called and said, okay, we got one here. We went to go try to test drive it the next day, and obviously it was gone. But another problem with this is just talking about numbers and transparency or whatever. We about a week later, after we went into this Toyota dealership initially, I called and I was on a live stream with Tommy from Delivered. He is a car broker. I don't think he likes to call himself a car broker. He's a car broker, but he does negotiations all the time. And I just telling him about our situation and what we're going through, and said, okay, well, let's see if what we can get off of it. And we want to do this live. I called them, and they would not even give us numbers over the phone. They said, no, you need to be here if I'm gonna tell you anything. Absolutely ridiculous. Just tell me how much you're going to sell the freaking van for. That's what I need to this. And it's so frustrating. And I know the lingo. I know how to talk to these salespeople. I know what the dealership models go through. I know what they're really making on the back end, how they make their money. Even with me knowing all of this stuff, as it being that difficult for me just to get freaking numbers on this van, whether, I mean, they wouldn't give them to me over the phone. And it took me 45 minutes just to get an out the door sheet at this dealership. I can only imagine how difficult it is for someone who's not in the car industry, who doesn't know what they're dealing with, to go into and just get destroyed by these salespeople. I hate it for every person out there. And I know Car Edge is wanting to change the way that business is done. Tommy from Delivered, he's trying to help people get through this. We're starting a project where we're trying to change the way that used cars are being bought. This is why all these things are popping up. This is why a channel like mine has exploded over the last year and a half. This is why Car Edge has exploded. This is why Tommy's blowing up. All these other automotive channels, this is why they've done so well over the last couple of years, is because it's so the industry is so frustrating. And okay, well, get to all right. Where are we going with our purchase? What did we buy? So my wife is not able to be on this live today. So this is a little bit of a teaser for tomorrow's live. We'll tell you what we bought. I'll tell you how I negotiated, what the experience was like. I will tell you how much I got off of it. And just for you down in the comments that I see a lot, they're saying, okay, well, I'm not seeing prices go down yet. And others saying, well, I went into a dealership and I asked for them to take money off and they just said no. So I left or whatever. And they said dealers aren't moving on prices. What I can tell you is that if you're saying those two things down in the comments, one, you're either lazy, or two, you do not know how to negotiate, because yes, dealers are moving off things. You might have to find the right dealership. And two, they are negotiating off of things. We've got a very highly desirable car. We got all the add-ons taken off, and we got it about 10% under MSRP. So yes, you can get vehicles and you can get them under MSRP, and you can negotiate that, but you have to be willing to negotiate. You have to do your research before. You have to know what you can negotiate it off of, and you got to do your research, and you can't be lazy, and you got to find the right place. So just to cover those comments that are definitely going to come. But let's go down here to the chat and we'll check. So this is a prime example. Shane says that he got a 2024 CRV Sport Hybrid in platinum, white pearl. That's the color. And it was $33,700 plus tax, title, and license, and the MSRP was $37,500. So yeah, I mean, he got over 10% off on this purchase. You can go into dealer, even a highly desirable brand like a Honda. You can go in there and you can negotiate. It's absolutely possible right now. And if you don't think so, then you're either lazy or you can't negotiate. So here we go. Let's go to something else. The auto industry has dropped the ball. Yeah, and it's across. It's not just, I know I'm picking on Toyota here in this video. It's not just a Toyota thing. Toyota, the problem that they had was the production that they kept from consumers, and this allowed them to keep their prices elevated. We heard all along this that, okay, production was not an issue in most other countries, but it was for the US. And really, what we've seen from them is that has gave their dealers basically the ability to go out and gouge customers. So this loyalty group, which I was a part of, and if honestly, if we hadn't been in the position where we had to wait on the Sienna, we would have already probably bought one. If we could go in there and get, I mean, 5 to 10% off MSRP because they just had Sienna sitting everywhere, we wouldn't have done any research. We wouldn't have looked at any other vehicles. We would have just went and bought one. So you're going to have other consumers just like myself and my wife that are doing the same things. Okay, well, this dealership's not negotiable, or we have to be put on a waiting list to get a vehicle that we want from Toyota. Let's go look somewhere else and just see what they have. And Toyota's going to end up losing a lot of these loyal these loyal customers that I mean, that's all that they would buy. I mean, for my personal driver for a while, it's been a Lexus, and my wife, we bought her a Toyota Venza 6 years ago, and we were planning on Toyota being our next vehicle, and that's what I've said for a very long time. But because they didn't have it, and because we were not able to get as good of a deal from Toyota as another brand, we look somewhere else, and now we are not the Toyota truthers that we thought we were. And next time we buy a new car, we're going to do our research and we're going to search some other brands. So Toyota has lost us as just a Toyota buyer. All right, let's go to something else. I have never gotten a number over the phone or by email. It's always come in. So you can absolutely, from good dealerships that are more transparent, you can absolutely get a number on the vehicle over the phone, or over email. And the reason I know this is because I've mentioned him quite a bit in this, but Tommy from Delivered, he's got a great YouTube channel. It's Delivered, and it's the last two E's are not in it. That's how you're gonna find him on YouTube. But he is a car broker that negotiates deals every single day, and he does it live on his channel. And I don't know why I'm addicted to it. I guess I just like to hear the ridiculousness that comes out of these car salesmen when he's talking to them on the phone. But that's the only way he negotiates. He doesn't go in because he's doing it across the country. So he doesn't go into these dealerships to get numbers. He's getting deals done over the phone. He's getting sales closed over the phone. So you can absolutely get numbers. Now he's got to push. You got to push. It's extra work. Just like I was saying earlier with people in the comments saying, well, prices aren't going down. You have to push these salespeople. You have to do the work. You have to do the research. You have to make the calls. You have to make the emails. You're going to have to call multiple dealers. You're going to have to pit dealers against each other to get the best deal. But if you want to get the best deal, this is the work that you have to put in. All right. Here we go. I bought my last two vehicles over the internet, never went to the dealership. So, That's the thing. You can, if you do your research, you can most likely find the best price. And a lot of times that best price is the internet price, because those dealerships, they know that they have to compete against all these other dealerships. Now, here's the problem with the internet pricing, and what we found too with looking at a few of these dealerships and looking at these vehicles, is that, yeah, they're going to post it for a certain amount, but when you get there, they have add-ons, they have extra fees, whatever. They will try to charge you that stuff to make it to where, okay, they're trying to get the cheapest internet price possible, but then they're going to try to get you when you get to the dealership. You just have to know that when you get there, because there are vehicles out there that are just that you can buy now, you should not be paying any add-ons. Even going back to the Sienna, I was able to negotiate all the add-ons off of that Sienna. I was able to negotiate it under MSRP. It's one of the hardest vehicles to find in the market right now. And even that you can buy for under MSRP if you try hard enough, if you negotiate the right way. And just other vehicles that are available that you can get, that's even going to be more of a case that you're going to be able to get those things for under MSRP. You're going to be able to find deals out there now, because there are vehicles on the ground, and dealerships are not just rolling in customers right now like they were over the last 2 years. The whole landscape has changed completely, but you just have to know what you're going in to get. You have to know that that you don't have to pay add-ons, and you have to be willing to walk. And this is that's exactly what we did when we went to negotiate the vehicle that we bought. And we'll tell you about that whole experience tomorrow. So make sure you tune into the live tomorrow, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't. And I really hope you have